can say for sure what kind of adjustments he makes to his game for that.
Well, what adjustments do you make to your game when you're playing heads up?
Well, the big difference, I think, is, you know, when you're the small blind, you're also the button. So you get to act first pre-flop, and then you're going to be last on every other street. I've adopted the strategy of every time I raise pre-flop on the button, I min-raise.
Why is that?
Because it gets the job done. I mean, what I've found now after trying this out a lot, mostly, you know, lots of practice games on Poker Stars playing heads up sit and goes, the opponents will fold almost as often for a min raise as they will for like a typical 3 times the big bet raise.
There's no need to risk that many chips in case they come over the top.
If they come over the top and I'm going to fold, I lose less. If I have a premium hand and they're going to call, then yeah, I'm losing a little bit of value there. But you know, most of the time you don't have a premium hand.
When you're playing heads up.
Yeah.
Well, which skills are most important? What skills do you use the most?
I mean, when you play heads up, you have to put the other guy on tilt. Like,
okay. How do you put the other guy on tilt?
You bluff a lot. I mean, you just got to not care. Like, you have to keep bluffing, just keep betting, and eventually, even if a guy's a very tight player, it's going to get to him. At least usually. Okay. And if it doesn't get to him, then you got to stop playing the guy.
Tap them, and then when they come over the top of you, you got to come over the top of them. Sometimes even without a hand. You know, I don't want to give away all my secrets. The World Series heads-up tournament's coming up soon, but I mean, I find any style of play. I try not to have a style myself and no limit. I try to just anticipate what my opponent is doing and counter the strategy. So if someone comes out with a one-set strategy and it doesn't seem like they're varying their play that much, no matter what the strategy is, if you're thinking, you can take advantage of it. You know.
I will play a lot of hands, and sometimes my opponents, when they first see my cards that I've raised with, they're like, "Wow, you raised with that," and you know that's because the way I play, my strategy is when I'm on the button, I have the advantage. So I want to have a bigger pot on average when I have the button than when my opponent does, because I think that positional advantage is really important, and that holds true early on in the tournament before the blinds get up there. Once the blinds are big and people only have like 10 to 20 times a big blind, then if you start raising, now there's not a lot of play post flop, so you lose the advantage of your button by raising too much. So I will usually switch gears, and I'll play raise almost all the time early on, and then near the end I'll start limping when it's in the middle range, and then once it gets so short that it's all in or fold, then I'll start moving all in. So there's this range that I'm changing, and it's based on our chip stack. So if I double my opponent up, I'm going to switch strategies right then.